Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So this video is going to be a quick little bonus video, and I have been doing a little experiment during the entire month of May, and I wanted to just see how much time I actually spend doing YouTube. And this is not supposed to be at all like a tooting my own horn, like look at me, I spend so much time, I work so hard on my channel. It's nothing like that. I was just genuinely curious to see if I actually wrote down the hours and kept track how much time I actually spent doing YouTube and how much time I spent in each area of YouTube, because sometimes it's like editing, sometimes it's filming, sometimes it's answering comments. And I was just so curious of how it would all play out if I actually took the time to keep track of it for an entire month. And also I was really curious to see how much the amount of hours I spent compared to the amount of money I make doing YouTube would compare, especially compared to like minimum wage, if it was underneath that or close to it. I was just really curious for a few different reasons. One is because I feel like before I started my channel, I thought that certain things didn't take that much time, and I feel like the more I've gotten into YouTube, the more I realized that I was pretty ignorant and that I didn't really have a place to be saying like, oh, it's not that hard to do this, or it's not hard, that it doesn't take that long to do whatever, because sometimes it does take a really long time to do certain things. And also I did a video talking about how much money I made on YouTube a little while back, like probably a year ago. And after doing it recently, I learned that I guess you're not supposed to give the specifics of what you make from YouTube. Didn't realize that, so I took it down. It's fine. I mean, it was a good video in my opinion, but I don't want to get in trouble or violate the YouTube or the Google AdSense contract. That wouldn't be great. So I decided to take it down, but I figured I could kind of give you a semi idea in this video. And also, whenever I posted that, it did end up on Reddit, which I feel like a lot of comments just kind of like, I saw a lot of comments that were like, oh, I'd be so happy to make a few $100 extra a month, or I'd be so happy with this or that. And I feel like it's so easy to just like take away how much work can be put into doing videos. And also people get mad about having too many ads in a video, and it's just like you see a 20-minute video and you think, wow, there's 2 ads here, and I see like 6 hours of work. So I feel like you just have to know the value of your time. And like, I'm not going to be the person who puts ads every 4 minutes. I try to do like every 8 minutes is what I try to do. I mean, if it's like 21 minutes, I might throw an ad in at 7 minutes and 14 minutes. I don't like do like the ads where it's like as soon as I go to talk about something amazing or something cool or something hyped up, I throw an ad. I don't really do that. I just do it spaced by time, which maybe isn't as smart, but that's the way I do it. And I don't have any shame in it because I work really hard at this, and after doing this experiment all month, I see that. So it's not a look at me kind of thing in any way. I was just so curious to see what it would be. I thought maybe other people would be curious too. And of course, this is very individual. I'm sure next month if I did it, it wouldn't be the exact same. I'm sure any other YouTuber who did it might be different timings. And I'd be curious to see if anyone else did this, how long they spent during different things and what parts, and how it compares to how much they're paid, because I just think it's all so interesting, and like the world of social media and all that is so new, so I just thought I would share it. So before I jump into how much time I spent in each category and how much time I spent overall for the entire month of May doing any type of work for YouTube, I thought I would tell you guys my rules, because I tried to be pretty strict about what counted, and I didn't want to just be like, oh, I'm shopping for YouTube, this counts. Like, no, that doesn't count. That's not it. So the time that it takes me to get ready before I film, like if I'm just like doing a little bit of makeup, like today I filmed part of a 5 looks video and I did my base and my foundation and powder and all that off camera, I would not count any of that time. I only counted time that I was actually filming, camera on, in the midst of doing a video. I feel like the parts that I wasn't filming, that's kind of like driving to work. Like, I'm getting ready to be able to film, but I'm not actually like, I'm watching Hulu, I'm watching some novella, so I don't feel like that counts as work. Or I've been binging so much of Paulina's Beauty because I'm obsessed with her and going back to like her oldest videos, but I don't feel like that counts the time getting ready beforehand. I also didn't count unpredictable video planning. Sometimes I actually do sit down and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this video here and do this video here, and you know, this is my schedule, and I'll sit down and do that. But sometimes like I lay in bed at night and I just think about like what videos I want to do, or I like just plan, and I'm like, I can't count that. I'm not like going to get up out of my bed at 12 o'clock at night and like write down the time. So I didn't count that. I also didn't count watching YouTube at all, which I feel is kind of an important part, because it helps you get inspired, helps you kind of see what other people are watching, and I don't know, I feel like being part of the community is part of being on YouTube. At least for me, I feel like it's an important part, but I did not count that as any time. And then I also did not count anything to do with Instagram, because I do run Indie Makeup Spotlight, which is an Instagram account of like indie makeup releases and whatnot, which does take a good amount of time, but I didn't include anything I do for this because I feel like this is separate. I also didn't include putting anything on my like makeup Instagram, like AMYLOVES Makeup. I didn't include the time that I take to go through and list all the products or post things or take pictures of products for Instagram. Like I didn't include any of that. I only focused on YouTube. I also wrote down the shopping thing because that does not count for me. And then also, as far as in the end, I'm going to tell you guys how much money I made compared to the amount of hours I spent, which if you want to do math, you can, but I didn't include like the value of PR. I didn't include anything that I made from affiliate money, because part of that is Instagram, and I feel like it's so unpredictable. So I just simply did AdSense. So that was my rules, and every single time I went to film or I went to edit, I would stop and I would write in my little notes section. Here, I'll actually show you my notes section just in case you're curious, because I was taking this very seriously. I have my month of May here. It's kind of out of order because I was going through doing the math for all of them, but you know, you can click on any given day. Ads. And you can see the exact times that I spent filming, video settings, comments, editing, filming. So you can see I did that for every single day. Some of these are very small right there because that's when my sister was in town. And then if you get towards the end, that's when I've been pre-filming, and that's when I'm like spending like the entire day going back and forth doing things. So every time I would start, I'd write it down. Every time I finished, I'd write it down. At first it felt really weird, and I would start and then I'd be like, oh no, I need to write it down. And then at the end of the month, it was like, whenever June finally started a few days ago, it feels like every time I go to do something for YouTube, I feel like I should stop and write it down. I'm like, I don't have to do that anymore, which is kind of freeing because it's kind of annoying. And like whenever, like sometimes I'll just reply to a comment here and there. And whenever I did this, I tried to go ahead and like reply to a bunch of comments at one time just to make it easier to record. So now let's go ahead and get on to my results. I sat here doing math for like a full hour and I wanted to die. I hate math. All right, so adding everything up together, I spent the most amount of time filming, and that was 3,277 minutes, which comes out roughly to about 54.6 hours, and that was just filming. Next, the most amount of time that I spent doing something was editing, and this does include like editing, doing video settings, the description box, thumbnail, all the like technological side. I don't know why I always mess up technological. All the technological side of YouTube I included as editing, and that came out to 2,879 minutes, which is about 47.9 hours. Crazy. I don't know why I feel like I didn't spend that much time editing, and that's the one thing where when I was younger and I was looking at YouTube and I was like, it doesn't take that long to edit, like all that extra stuff doesn't take that long, and I'm like 47 hours editing this month. That's crazy. Although I do try to be really good about like linking everything in the description box, and that does take an annoying amount of time. I hate that too. But also just the editing process, going through, making sure the video is perfect, trying to do thumbnails that catch people's attention. It all takes time. All right, so next, going down the line, I spent 812 minutes replying to comments, reading comments, hearting comments, everything that had to do with my comments just on YouTube. Doesn't include anything else, doesn't include Instagram DMs or anything like that, just YouTube. And that was 13.5 hours of time replying to comments throughout the month. And then last but not least, the fourth category that I have here is planning, and that was 219 minutes, which equals about 3.6 hours. Not that crazy. I mean, still a decent amount of time, but not anywhere as much as filming and editing. So my total amount of minutes during the month of May was 7,187, and that comes out to roughly about 120 hours. So that's like somewhere in between a part-time and a full-time job if you count by hours, which I am staying home with my son right now, so I do get to spend a lot of time, even though I don't exactly get paid as well as a job would. It works for me right now, and I do treat YouTube as a job, not in the way where I'm like, oh, I need to make money, but just the amount of work and effort I want to put into it. So for the month of May, it was actually a really good month as far as ad revenue goes for me. Normally it's just like a slowly increasing kind of thing. One month I had like last year when I had a video like go really well, and then at the end of the year, or the beginning of the year technically, whenever holiday's over, it's like back down, and then it's like slowly going up again. So this month was higher than last month and higher than all the other months before that, except for the one that was really good, just to give you an idea. It just depends on everybody, and also I post videos almost every single day, not always, but at least 4 times a week, always 4 times a week at least, which is not true for everyone. So I feel like if you're making way less, that could be why. It could just be the amount of videos you're making. But my hourly wage at the end ended up being a little over $4 per hour, which is like half of minimum wage and does not include taxes, which I had to take out myself because Google does not take them out when they pay you. So you have to be prepared at the end of the year to be able to pay that back into taxes. Unfortunately, it's not money you can just keep. You have to make sure you save that like 33% or something like that. So that was my end result to my experiment. I feel kind of weird about posting this. I don't know if anyone else will even care about this. If everyone hates it, I'll just take it down and like move on with my life and just keep the information for myself. But I just wanted to know, because I feel like you can spend so much time doing something and you're like, oh yeah, I spent so much time doing this, but actually like seeing the hours, I feel like is just interesting. I don't know if it added any value in my life per se to know this information, but it definitely made me think. I do just want to take this moment to thank you for watching my videos and my content and my channel, and if you're subscribed, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I feel like there's a lot of like reward in just doing something and working really hard at it, but then being able to share it and have conversations and build each other up, I feel like that's just so fun. And one of my favorite parts about doing YouTube is like the friendship and everything that comes from videos. Even though it's like, yes, we're talking about makeup, I feel like it can just go so much deeper than that. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. I really appreciate it. Even if this is your first one, thank you so much. Alright, so I think that's everything I had to say for this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.